There's something on your exterior that you've intended to eliminate. It appears as a small, rough, tubular formation composed of mud, perhaps as large as your thumb, or perhaps several of them clustered together, resembling an unusual, handcrafted pipe organ affixed to the surface of your patio, the wall of your garage, or tucked beneath your eaves. It looks unsightly, out of place, like an issue poised for removal. And if your initial impulse has been to grab a scraper and get rid of it, pause. Because what resides within that earthen dwelling is one of the most remarkable phenomena occurring on your land, and the consequences of its destruction might be something you deeply regret. Today, we're going to explore that structure together. We'll examine its contents, identify its architect, and understand its purpose in ways that will truly astonish you. By the end, I believe you'll grasp why many of the most discerning horticulturalists and naturalists across the nation have made a conscious choice to preserve these constructions precisely where they are. Let's begin by identifying the builder. The muddy edifice on your wall was constructed by a mud dauber, a solitary wasp belonging to various species within the Sphaecidae and Crabronidae families, prevalent in virtually every area of North America. The azure mud dauber, the ebony and gold mud dauber, and the organ pipe mud dauber are the most frequently encountered, and collectively, they have established themselves in every environment where humans erect buildings: residences, barns, porches, garages, sheds, and the undersides of bridges. The crucial point to comprehend about mud daubers, and this is what surprises nearly everyone, is that they bear no resemblance to the wasps that instill fear. Yellowjackets are aggressive. Paper wasps will inflict a sting if their nest is approached. Hornets fiercely defend their colonies. These are the wasps that have earned their formidable reputation. However, the mud dauber is an entirely different kind of creature. She is solitary. She constructs her home alone. She hunts alone. She nurtures her young alone. She possesses no colony to safeguard, no queen to protect, no social hierarchy that incites communal hostility. By the standards of the wasp kingdom, she is exceptionally placid. Entomologists who specialize in mud daubers consistently report that inducing one to sting requires persistent, deliberate effort. They possess the capacity to sting, but they very seldom do. You could position yourself directly adjacent to an active mud dauber nest and observe her activities without any realistic threat of being bitten. Her focus is entirely on her endeavor, and her endeavor has nothing to do with you. So, what is her endeavor? This is where the narrative takes an extraordinary turn. The mud dauber does not inhabit the structure she erects. She constructs it entirely for her progeny, offspring she will never encounter. The nest serves as a nursery, a larder, and a sealed repository, all contained within a single, small cylinder of hand-molded clay. And to comprehend what she places within it, you must follow her hunt. The mud dauber is a spider predator. This is her specialization, her biological imperative, the ecological niche she has occupied for millions of years. She seeks out spiders, sometimes diminutive ones, sometimes impressively large ones, and she delivers a precisely aimed sting to their nervous systems. Not a fatal sting, but a paralyzing one. The spider does not perish. It remains alive, immobilized, suspended in a state of enforced stillness, its metabolic processes continuing, its tissues preserved for weeks. The mud dauber then transports the incapacitated spider back to the mud nest, deposits it within the tube, and departs to hunt again. She repeats this process, filling the chamber with spider after spider, each one alive and preserved until the tube is replete. Subsequently, she deposits a single egg atop the final spider, seals the chamber with a fresh mud plug, and proceeds to construct the next cylinder. Upon hatching, the larva finds itself in an enclosed chamber with a living sustenance source. It consumes the spiders one by one, from the freshest to the oldest, each perfectly preserved by the wasp's venom. By the time the larva has depleted all provisions in the chamber, it is prepared to enter its pupal stage, to metamorphose within its clay cell and emerge weeks later as a fully developed adult wasp, which then excavates the mud seal and takes flight. The entire life cycle, from egg to adult, unfolds within that unassuming small tube on your wall. And this has been occurring in similar constructions for over 100 million years. Now, here's the aspect that will be most significant to you as a gardener and homeowner. Which spider species does the mud dauber favor above all others? Researchers who have analyzed the prey composition of mud daubers have made a remarkable discovery. While mud daubers will capture a diverse array of spider species, the blue mud dauber, Chalybium californicum, exhibits a pronounced and documented predilection for black widow spiders. In studies conducted across numerous states, black widows constituted a substantial proportion of the prey stored in blue mud dauber nests, with some nests containing almost exclusively black widow specimens. Let that sink in for a moment. The structure on your wall that you were contemplating removing, the one that resembles a mud stain, an eyesore, a nuisance, may be actively populated with the very spider that poses a genuine medical hazard to you and your family. The mud dauber is not merely a passive resident of your environment. She is actively engaged in targeted pest eradication of the species you most need controlled, in precisely the locations where black widows tend to reside: wall crevices, garage corners, the shaded undersides of structures. No spray can access those areas as reliably as she can. No trap hunts as precisely as she does, and no chemical treatment leaves the nest site as pristine and devoid of spiders as she does. Because she doesn't just kill spiders, she removes them entirely, one by one, and stores them elsewhere. If you have ever encountered a black widow in your garage and experienced that distinctive chill of dread, understand that the mud dauber on your wall might be the reason you aren't encountering more of them. There is one further element within the nest that warrants your attention, something that transpires when the nest is aged, already deserted, devoid of larvae, and someone opens it. The spiders emerge, dozens in some instances, perfectly preserved, completely intact, desiccated and mummified by the passage of time within their sealed chamber. Small brown ones, large orb weavers, and occasionally black widows, their crimson markings still vivid, their bodies still in the exact posture they assumed when the venom took effect. It is one of the most extraordinary and unnerving discoveries one can make within a structure on one's own property. A sealed archive of your local spider population, meticulously curated and stored by an insect. A record of the creatures that inhabited the nooks and crannies of your abode, captured and preserved with a precision that no human survey could ever replicate. Some individuals find this deeply unsettling. Others consider it one of nature's most captivating revelations. Most people, once they comprehend what they are observing, experience a sentiment somewhere in between, a profound reverence for a process so ancient and so efficient that it operates continuously, unobtrusively, on the walls of millions of American homes every spring and summer. So, what should you do about the mud nest on your wall? The answer hinges on a single factor. Is the nest active or abandoned? An active nest will feature a wasp or several wasps across different tubes, moving with evident purpose. You may observe her arriving with mud or carrying a paralyzed spider. If the nest is active, leave it entirely undisturbed. She will complete her work within a single season, seal the final tube, and depart. She will not return to the same nest. She will not expand it indefinitely. She will establish a new dwelling elsewhere the following season. An abandoned nest, dry, sealed, and showing no signs of activity, can be left as is, which is the most straightforward option and incurs no cost. The empty tubes provide crucial overwintering habitat for other beneficial insects. Alternatively, if its location is genuinely bothersome, it can be carefully removed after the season concludes, in late autumn or winter, when you are certain no larvae remain within. What you should never do is destroy an active nest. Not because the mud dauber will retaliate, she will not, but because you will be terminating a process that directly benefits your property, eliminating a predator performing a task you cannot accomplish yourself, and removing from your local ecosystem one of the most precise and valuable biological controls for dangerous spiders that nature has ever devised. The mud nest on your wall is not a problem. It is a solution. A small, handcrafted, mud-sealed solution to a spider issue you may not have fully realized you possessed. Leave it in place. Observe her activities if you have the opportunity, and the next time someone contemplates reaching for a scraper near one of these structures, inform them of what truly resides within. Have you ever discovered a mud dauber nest on your property or opened one to reveal its contents? Share your experiences in the comments section. I read every single contribution, and this is precisely the kind of narrative for which this community was established. And if you wish to understand another builder, one that constructs its abode not from mud but from something far more surprising, the subsequent video is already awaiting your viewing.